Perhaps you found yourself looking back at the past, feeling a heavy weight in your heart, a broken relationship, a bitter mistake, or a wound that has yet to heal. These moments cling to your mind, trapping you in an endless cycle of regret and recollection. The past holds immense power, not because it can return to harm us, but because we refuse to release it. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, does holding on to painful memories improve your present? Stoic philosophy offers an answer. Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." Suffering does not arise from events themselves, but from the way we allow them to define us. The past, whether filled with light or shadow, has already passed. The only thing that truly belongs to you is this present moment, the space where you hold power, where you can choose to change, and where you can move forward. If you constantly look back, you will never progress ahead. It is time to embrace Stoic wisdom, let go of what burdens you, and focus on yourself to build a stronger future. In this discussion, we will explore 9 Stoic principles to help you release the past, focus on self-growth, and move forward with clarity and strength. 1. Accept that the past cannot be changed. Mistakes, missed opportunities, and painful words may echo in your mind. Everyone experiences this at some point. However, according to Stoicism, dwelling on the past is futile. The past is beyond your control, and resisting this reality only traps you in an endless internal battle. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom teaches us that rather than wasting energy on what has already happened, we should focus on how we respond to it. Yes, you may have been hurt by past events, but it is your response that defines you. The past no longer belongs to you, but the present and future do. While this may seem simple, it is one of life's most difficult challenges. Transform pain into strength. How do we truly let go? How do we stop tormenting ourselves over past mistakes? Consider the story of Sylvester Stallone, an embodiment of Stoic resilience. Before Rocky, Stallone was not a Hollywood star. He faced rejection over 1,500 times while trying to sell his script. His financial struggles were so severe that he had to sell his beloved dog just to afford food. If he had let failure consume him, if he had believed that his past defined his future, Rocky would never have existed. But he refused to let those setbacks define him. He persisted, endured, and ultimately created a film that propelled him to success. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the absence of failure, but the ability to confront the past without being imprisoned by it. Use the past as a lesson, not a burden. People who remain trapped by their past live in regret, dwelling in endless what-if scenarios. But those who cultivate true strength understand that instead of lamenting what has been lost, they should extract lessons and use them to move forward. Perhaps you have faced betrayal. Perhaps you have made mistakes you deeply regret. Perhaps you have lost an opportunity that seemed irreplaceable. But ask yourself, does replaying these moments in your mind change anything? You can either let the past control you or take control of your mind and move forward. The choice is always yours. Accept, acknowledge, and release. Stoicism does not teach us to suppress our emotions or ignore our pain. Instead, it encourages us to confront, accept, and ultimately ensure that these emotions do not control our lives. Once you understand that the past is simply a closed chapter, you can begin writing the next one with a clearer, stronger mindset. Do not let past failures define who you are. Instead, be like Stallone, like Marcus Aurelius. like those who have chosen to master their minds rather than let circumstances dictate their lives. The past cannot be changed, but you can change how you perceive it, and that alone will unlock the door to a future you truly deserve. 2. Your feelings are valid and acknowledged. Perhaps you have been told that strength comes from suppressing emotions, that success is reserved for those who do not allow sadness or suffering to affect them. But true resilience is not about running from emotions. It is about facing them with wisdom and composure. Stoicism does not ask you to become emotionless. On the contrary, real strength arises from acceptance. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, once stated, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them." Pain, loss, and disappointment are unavoidable aspects of life. The question is, will you let them consume you, or will you embrace them with serenity? The choice is yours. Consider the life of Keanu Reeves, a modern embodiment of the Stoic spirit. His journey has been anything but smooth. He lost his close friend, River Phoenix, at a young age. Before he could recover from that grief, he endured another tragedy when his girlfriend, Jennifer Syme, passed away in a car accident. Such immense loss could have led him to bitterness, anger, or despair. Yet instead of allowing tragedy to define him, he accepted it as part of life. Keanu continued forward, working, contributing, and most importantly, remaining humble and kind. Pain is inevitable, but how we respond to it shapes who we are. When you lose something dear, you can either react with bitterness or with acceptance. If you choose the latter, you will come to realize an essential truth. Suffering is temporary. It is like clouds passing across the sky. You cannot stop them from appearing, but you can choose to observe them with a calm mind. Stoicism does not ask you to forget pain. It simply advises you not to let pain govern your life. Emotions are an intrinsic part of being human, and suppressing them only leads to exhaustion. However, when you recognize emotions as natural and inevitable, without resistance, without escape, you will discover inner peace. Reflect on the wounds of your past. Did they cause you pain? Undoubtedly. But if you allow them to dictate your present, you are surrendering your power. Instead, if you can view them with a sense of tranquility, you will see that they are just one chapter of your story, not its entirety. That is why the present moment is so important. It is the only thing that truly belongs to you. The past is unchangeable. The future remains uncertain. But in the present, you have the power to shape your life. How can you cultivate this mindset? Let's explore that next. Many people find themselves caught between two extremes, either dwelling on the past with regret or fretting over an uncertain future. But ask yourself, do these thoughts change anything? The past is beyond alteration, and the future is always uncertain. The only certainty is the present. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, advised, "Confine yourself to the present." This wisdom is not just philosophical, it is the key to inner peace. By focusing on the present, you free yourself from the weight of past failures and the anxieties of what has yet to come. You begin to truly live rather than merely exist. This principle is perhaps most evident in sports, where every second matters. Take Rafael Nadal, the legendary tennis player. He once said, "I don't think about the points I've lost." His success stems from an unwavering focus on the present moment. This is the essence of Stoic thought, grounding yourself in the now, where real change and true living occur. I always play each point as if it were the last. Throughout his career, Rafael Nadal has faced countless setbacks, painful losses, injuries that threatened his career. But rather than dwelling on these failures, he focused on the one thing he could control: the next point, the next shot, the next match. This mindset propelled him to heights that few could ever reach. If you reflect on your own life, you might realize that most of your stress and anxiety stem from things beyond your control. Do you torment yourself over a past mistake? That won't change it. Are you paralyzed by fear of an uncertain future? That won't make it any more predictable. But if you devote your full attention to the present moment, to the work at hand, the person before you, each breath you take, you will discover the peace you've always been searching for. Stoicism teaches that happiness doesn't come from possessions or achievements, but from how you experience each moment of life. A person may have all the wealth and fame in the world, yet feel restless if their mind constantly drifts between the past and the future. Meanwhile, someone leading a simple life may feel deeply fulfilled if they know how to embrace the present. So, if you seek true peace, try living like Nadal on the court. Don't let lost points weigh you down. Don't let unknown outcomes hold you back. Just focus on the now, because now is where life truly happens. Have you ever overcome a challenge by staying present? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. You've likely heard the word self many times: self-esteem, self-compassion, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-confidence, self-love, self-care. With so many terms, it's understandable if they start to blur together. But while these concepts are distinct, they all share a common foundation. Your worth does not come from the outside world, it comes from within. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." The meaning is clear. If you want to grow, don't seek the approval of others. Don't let your worth be dictated by someone else's opinion. True self-worth is built from within. It means staying true to your path, even if others doubt or criticize you. Take the story of Stephen King, a symbol of perseverance and belief in inner value. As a young writer, he submitted his first novel, Carrie, to multiple publishers and faced rejection, not just once but over 30 times. Each rejection must have been discouraging, but instead of giving up, he kept writing. He refused to let external judgments define his worth. Eventually, Carrie was published. It became a classic, launching one of the most legendary careers in literature. Had King allowed rejection to dictate his value, he might have quit before success ever arrived. So, what about you? Are you placing your self-worth in things beyond your control? Are you letting compliments, recognition, or criticism determine your value? If so, remember this: anything external can be taken away, but the value within you is untouchable. Building inner worth doesn't mean ignoring the world or rejecting all feedback. It means knowing who you are, understanding what truly matters to you, and refusing to let others' opinions shake that foundation. When you truly believe in your worth, you will no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. You will do what is right, not for approval, but because it aligns with who you are. Imagine a life where you no longer fear judgment, a life where you are no longer controlled by the expectations of others, a life where you define yourself. Are you ready to walk that path? Share your thoughts in the comments. What makes you feel most valuable? Have you ever lost faith in yourself? And most importantly, what have you done to rebuild your inner worth? I would love to hear your story. Let go of what you cannot control. Have you ever felt like life is unfair? Some days, no matter how hard you try, everything seems to work against you. You give your all, but face rejection. You love deeply, yet still lose people. You pour your heart into something only for the world to overlook it. And you wonder, why is this happening to me? If you've ever felt this way, remember an essential truth from Stoicism. Not everything is within your control, but your response to it is. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, once said that happiness and freedom start with understanding one fundamental principle. Some things are within our control, and some are not. Accepting this is the key to a more peaceful life. When you stop fixating on things beyond your reach, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Instead, your energy goes toward what truly belongs to you, your thoughts, your attitude, and your actions. A powerful example of this mindset is Bethany Hamilton. At just 13 years old, she was a promising young surfer. Then, tragedy struck. She lost her left arm in a shark attack. In one moment, her future seemed uncertain. No one would have blamed her if she had given up, feeling bitter or defeated. But she didn't. Bethany knew she couldn't change what had happened, but she could choose how to move forward. She focused on what remained in her control, her determination, resilience, and unwavering spirit. Just a month later, she was back on her surfboard. Soon after, she was competing professionally, proving that hardship did not define her. Had she spent her life dwelling on her loss, she wouldn't have become an inspiration to millions. Instead, she chose acceptance and adaptation over blame and despair. Now, think about your own life. Are you holding on to worries about things beyond your control? Are you stressing over other people's opinions, past mistakes, or an uncertain future? If so, take a step back. Ask yourself, does this truly belong to me? Can I change it? If the answer is no, then it's time to let go. Shift your focus to what you can do right now. That's where your energy truly belongs. Because when you let go of what you can't control, you don't just find peace, you discover your true strength. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to show your support. A simple like or subscribe can help spread positivity and encouragement to others who might need it. Let's share the journey of self-improvement together. Now let's move forward. Next topic, the power of forgiveness. Anger is like fire. It can consume your thoughts and destroy your peace. When someone wrongs you, it's tempting to hold on to resentment, believing it makes you stronger. But does it really help? Forgiveness isn't about forgetting or excusing someone's actions. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of bitterness. When you forgive, you do it not just for them, but for yourself. Consider Joe, a man who carried resentment for years. Joe grew up in a fractured home, abandoned by his father at a young age. As a child, he constantly questioned, why did he leave me? Was I not enough? That pain festered over the years, transforming into anger and eventually settling as a heavy burden on his heart. One day, Joe had a revelation. It wasn't his father who was trapped, but himself. While his father had moved on, Joe remained shackled by the shadows of his past. He had allowed resentment to shape his life for too long. Seeking solace, he turned to faith and found wisdom in God's teachings on forgiveness. The Bible says, "For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." These words struck a chord within him. Forgiveness, he realized, was not about whether his father deserved it, but whether Joe himself deserved peace. Joe chose liberation over hatred. Reflect on this. We cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our responses. When someone wounds you, you have two choices. Let the pain define you, or learn to move forward. Choosing the latter does not signify weakness. It is a mark of immense strength. True power lies not in seeking revenge, but in understanding that harboring hatred only brings suffering. Forgiveness is not a single act, but a continuous journey. It begins with acknowledging the pain, accepting that the past cannot be altered, and ultimately letting go. This is the path advocated by Stoicism, not passive submission, but mental emancipation. Are you holding on to anger? If so, ask yourself, is this truly serving me? Are you ready to embrace peace and freedom? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your experiences with forgiveness. Self-control and discipline, the key to mastery. We often admire successful individuals and wonder, what is their secret? Are they simply lucky or exceptionally talented? A closer look at their journeys reveals the truth. Success is not about luck or innate ability, but about discipline. Stoicism emphasizes that self-control and discipline are the cornerstones of a fulfilling life. The difference between stagnation and achievement lies not in what people desire, but in their ability to take consistent action. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." You may have big dreams, but without discipline, they remain distant aspirations. It is discipline, not fleeting motivation, that determines success. A perfect example is Haruki Murakami, the renowned Japanese author whose literary works have captivated the world. Murakami did not rely on inspiration. He built his career on unwavering discipline. His routine was rigorous, waking at 4 a.m., writing for hours, then engaging in intense physical exercise. He repeated this every day, never allowing emotions or laziness to dictate his actions. Writing, he believed, was not just about creativity, but about endurance. Despite facing numerous rejections early in his career, his persistence led to global success. We often think transformation requires a surge of motivation or a major life event, but in reality, motivation is fleeting. The initial spark may ignite action, but only discipline sustains it. Want a healthier body? Don't wait for inspiration. Train daily, even if it's just a small effort. Want career growth? Don't wait until you feel ready. Take steps every day, no matter how minor. Want to change yourself? Don't expect overnight transformation. Be consistent, moment by moment. Self-control isn't about harsh self-punishment. It's about recognizing that true achievement requires persistence, even when you don't feel like it. Ironically, discipline is the ultimate path to freedom. When you master yourself, you are no longer ruled by fleeting emotions.